This is my canine condition. But before we can understand how this little family came to be, we have to go back in time.
So this is Dublin. Hi, Dublin. Hi, pretty. So normally this dog, or a dog that looked like this when I was a kid, oh my God, I would run away screaming. I would have been so afraid. And she is part pit bull, part Great Dane, is our best guess. Clearly my rescue efforts that night, although they led me on a very long journey, she was really meant to be my dog from the moment I saw her. Dublin has... Sorry. Dublin has changed my life in ways I never thought an animal or a dog could change you or teach you or show you. And she has brought so much awareness for me toward the pit bull, or what we call pit bull breed, which is the Staffordshire Terriers. And now I just feel such love for every single one of them, no matter their demeanor, their circumstance, how they look, what they've been through, what they've done or not done. I love them all. And Dublin is one of the sweetest, gentlest, funniest, most playful, loving dogs I've ever known.
Let's rewind a little more. I didn't always like dogs. When I was 5, my Guatemalan grandparents' dog bit me. I had accidentally stepped on his tail while jumping around. But it isn't fair to judge dogs because of one incident, or because of their breed or appearance. They are individuals. Rescuing Dublin opened our eyes to a cause we could not ignore. She opened our eyes to the canine condition of the United States. This documentary journey began in Georgia. Why? Because my rescued dog was named Dublin, I had started following a post from a town named Dublin in Georgia. Save the 200, and I couldn't get it out of my head. This particular small-town shelter had been over capacity by 200 dogs. The Department of Agriculture gave them 30 days to get down to capacity or start euthanizing. We arrived past those 30 days, and the shelter had been successful. Only a handful of those 200 dogs were left.
They're going all over the place because people are looking for animals, or they just trip upon our page, or somebody's cross-posted our animals, and they see that little spark. There's something about that picture, and they call and inquire. They send us messages. It's a great way to get the word out about our animals.
I'd seen that spark in this boy. Something about that picture. I knew exactly what she was talking about. He was just a number at the time, one of the 200. Cindy and shelter volunteers made it possible for me to get him. He's our boy, Huckleberry, one of the friendliest, most lovable and playful dogs we've ever met.
We are very dependent on volunteers to come in and anyone who wants to devote their time. We have several who actually are very devoted, and we're so thankful for them because they're here consistently. They walk dogs, they help us wash dishes, do laundry, just deliver food. That's actually where I got involved with the shelter, was right before Save the 200. And I was one of the people responsible for making that happen. And if you talk about a grassroots movement, it really was.
She was brought in as a neglect case, telling us. Cindy was telling me.
Bit on the ear? Was it bitten?
The tips of her ears were eaten off by bugs.
Wow.
Because she was left out, tethered outside with a really short tether and neglected. But I had someone come yesterday and look at her, and they're supposed to come back tomorrow with their male shepherd, which is smaller than she is. So I'm hoping that, if it's smaller, she might not feel threatened. They have a right to a fair and healthy, safe life. So I really believe we have to do all we can do for them.
Maybe you can call me Sunday morning and see how she's doing since I'm going to see you Monday afternoon. Thanks to that Facebook post, Save the 200, I had connected and collaborated with some of those very devoted shelter volunteers at that time, and now I was going to go meet them in person.
How are you involved in your local community with dog rescue?
I got involved with dog rescue through working with the animal shelter itself. So I became a regular dog walker, dog exerciser, and I kind of expanded from there. I began writing press releases for them, recording radio public service announcements, checking the donation bins, helping out with different projects. I do jack of all trades, master of none, trying to help them out and fill in the gaps wherever they need volunteer help. Speaking for Lawrence County, what I'm familiar with, we do not have spay and neuter. And I would say the reason for that is that if you look at Lawrence County as perhaps a typical southeastern U.S. county, we are traditionally rural, agrarian. And I think the agrarian personality is very strong about the concept of private property. These animals are livestock. Even if they're dogs and cats, they're not pets, they're livestock. So one, you don't come on my property and tell me what to do, and two, you don't tell me what to do with my livestock. So no spay and neuter ordinances, not near enough.
Hey, Stinky. What's it doing?
This puppy was found in a Walmart parking lot.
We have lots of Walmart pups.
They call them the Walmart pups on Facebook, and tell us why.
Because pretty much every weekend, you can drive by Walmart and there will be someone set up with a lawn chair and maybe an umbrella and a pen, and they'll have 6 to 12 puppies looking for a home because they failed to spay or neuter their pet, and they don't have homes.
What's the danger in giving away free puppies in a parking lot or anywhere?
Well, Dublin has a serious problem with dog fighting.
So when people are giving away free puppies,
There is a risk that the puppy is going to end up being a bait dog, either now or when it gets larger. I had someone today tell me, well, I want my children to enjoy the joy of seeing animals born. People think, oh, well, I have some puppies because they're cute and my children want to see a puppy be born. Well, then you can foster a mama dog from the shelter who's about to have puppies. You need to go hold the puppies and kittens at the animal shelter while they're euthanized because we don't have space.
Something about Dublin dogs, and I don't know.
I don't either, but if there's something about Dublin dogs.
That's the thing is you look at them
People
and you're like,
adopt
if
them.
people saw this, they'd be like, oh, this is a pet store. And they don't realize you can get dogs that look like this.
These literally came in off the street. They were all stray.
Everyone we met in Dublin, Georgia, welcomed us with open arms. They all wanted what we wanted, to stop the animal abuse, abandonment, and neglect in their city. Why was it so hard?
What is your opinion of the canine condition as you see it in Georgia today?
Horrible. It's horrible. I see dogs all the time on the side of the roads. You don't know if they belong to somebody. You see them, female dogs that are just having puppies after puppies after puppies. The county that I live here in, we don't actually have a shelter. We are fortunate that we have a rescue that works really hard to save all that they can, but they work mostly off donations. So that's really hard on the rescues because they don't have the funding to save them all. And they almost have to pick and choose who they can save because you have to have money to do it.
How did you get involved with rescuing dogs?
I was on Facebook one night, and a lady that used to help with the Lawrence County Humane Society had posted a picture of Chansey, a severely wounded bait dog that they use for dog fighting, and she just happened to post it, never thinking honestly that anybody would come forward. I told them that if I saw that Chansey was too severely wounded and had no life in her, that I would hold her paw while they put her down. But if I saw life in her, that she was mine. So I spent 6 hours with her at the vet while she got treated that day.
What had happened to her?
Chauncey was used as a bait dog for dog fighting, and what they do is she had 20 plus stab wounds on her neck. She had multiple bite marks, and she had chemical burns.
Chancey, we're going to meet in a little bit. This is China.
This is China. This is another rescue of mine.
And you're fostering her. What was China's story?
China's story, she was picked up by animal control because she was for neglect and abuse, because she was being used, she literally almost bred to death. They were using her to have babies.
Not everybody is going to feel about animals like I do, and I've realized that. It's looking through rescue or being on this side of rescue, I see so much that I didn't see before. And I think everybody needs to see what it is really about, the bad, the ugly, the good, every part of animal rescue. Or everybody needs to see it, because I think that's where it gets you. That's where you get it.
How was the experience for you volunteering at a shelter? Why did you do it?
We weren't lucky. We didn't have anybody here that was volunteering to go in and take pictures. And I love photography, so it was a win-win for me. And so I went there, and as soon as I pulled up, before I could even get in the shelter, I was standing in the yard crying. So I called Brandy and I said, I can't do this. I can't. And she said, no, you got to just get it together and get in there. Because if you don't, nobody else is going to.
Yeah, we started doing rescue, me and my mother, for the local shelter. And we got there's too many to count how many dogs we've helped. Animals aren't getting treated the way they should be treated. When they come in, even my groom shop, I can't say anything really to the people, but they're skin and bones. They got scabs all over them. You can tell they've been in fights, and they don't seem to notice things like that like we see.
So they'll bring them to the groomers, but they'll be in horrible condition.
Right.
In our county, I had a dog who belonged to my son, and the dog got out of the fence because a tree had fallen on it, and the dog was shot by a neighbor who knew who the dog belonged to. And the man was arrested, but he wasn't prosecuted. It's an epidemic of just not caring. It's sad.
And you have your own personal dogs. How many do you have?
I have two. I have Sparky. He was a rescue dog from the mall parking lot in Dublin. And then I have Cherie that came from the Dublin shelter.
I was actually answering the phone, and we had someone call in, and he'd either fallen off the back of a car, and I can't imagine that someone might have thrown him, but you never know. So he's just been here a few weeks.
And he's a purebred Boston
He's a Boston Terrier, and we've named him Cricket. Everything in here has rescue.
Oh, really?
Yes, except him. Yeah. Yep.
No way.
Right now, we have 6 dogs left from that campaign that are still in the shelter. So, and we're diligently working every day to still get those last 6 out.
Hi! Yeah, Mama's still alive.
Okay. She's healed really well, though.
Gosh, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Literally, it takes me looking at pictures after I give her a medicated bath every week to notice.
Now tell me, she didn't have all this fur, and it wasn't flawless like this when she was rescued, right?
Oh, no. She had scabs that were like that thick. It took them 6 hours at the vet to literally get her cleaned up and soaked through so they could
So she was visibly in pain.
Oh, yes. Very much so. very much so.
What are your thoughts and your feelings about the canine condition, the way you see it today in Georgia?
People talk about how people can turn a deaf ear, people can turn a blind eye, and there's so much that people could do that really wouldn't even cost them any money. I can't say that I've spent a lot on China and Chauncey. The only thing they needed was a loving home, somebody that would love them back to health.
The shelters are always short on funds. There's a term I've heard, animals can't vote, so they're going to get to the bottom of the barrel when it comes to local governments as far as getting necessary funding. So there are all kinds of ways that somebody can volunteer, all kinds of ways. Everybody who cares for animals, there is a way that they can volunteer, that they can help out.
People just have to wise up and, you know, number one, have your pet spayed or neutered. I mean, control the pet population, duh.
Partner with an organization or a small group of folks and call the veterinarian and give them your credit card number.
She was a bait dog, correct?
Yes, she was a bait dog. They had busted a fight ring in the area where she was found. Part of her face is ripped off. She has scars all around her neck. She was skin and bones and terrified. She was so scared. She's very overbred. She has had multiple litters. Somebody made a good comment at one time that that's probably the only love she ever received was from her babies. I've fostered puppies since I've had Patty, and she loves them.
Oh, really?
She treats them like they're her babies. We embrace her. My boys embraced her almost immediately. They didn't understand, and I didn't understand. I'd always heard the term bait dog. I just thought fighting dogs were fighting dogs, and they always fight. I didn't know that there was a difference.
So you foster for many different rescues. What draws you to say yes to fostering a dog?
Their eyes. Like with her, there was something about her eyes that just, we just connected. And she just said that, hey, you're the one that needs to give me a chance.
And you really believe, like, when you see a picture, that can say 1,000 words, that
Yes.
you don't need to meet the dog
No.
before you decide to commit?
No, I rarely meet one in person until I go to pick them up to bring them home.
That's a nice message to send to people who, not everybody feels that way, but it's nice to take a chance.
Yeah, because there are no perfect fosters. What I tell people is all you need to provide is love. You know, you're gonna feed them, you're gonna water them, you're gonna take care of their basic needs, but they just need love. They just need somebody to show them that people are not all evil. That's what they need.
And tell me about a dog that you have rescued that perhaps nobody else may have.
Brala. She was very aggressive in the shelter. When they caught her in a live trap. And my mom was there when they let her out of the trap, and she said she didn't think that they would ever give anybody a chance to have her. And so she told me to go look at her, and when I went up there, she was barking at the cage and trying to rip at the cage, but I could see through that she was just scared. She was obviously abused. So I spent time with her about 2 or 3 weeks. Then I got word that she might be put down, so I knew I had to get her out of there, and she's been perfect for me. Put yourself in their shoes. Imagine if you didn't have a home, if you didn't have food, if somebody was beating you or hitting on you, if you were thrown in a shelter and you knew you were gonna die. Put yourself in their shoes. Foster, adopt, put them on social media. It does 1 click to share, and it can get around the world.
I found out about Connie through social media, and various people, various individuals had networked and come together to respond to the plea from a woman who went on to Facebook. She said, I have a mother dog in the crawl space under my house. This was in cold weather, January, February, something like that. One rescue group took the puppies. She had a severe case of heartworms. They needed to treat her. So I've been fostering her. She's got a good home here. You know, I'm just one of many fosters helping out. and she's here as long as she needs to be. And then when the time comes when she is healed, then we will find two words that are important: a loving, responsible home for her.
I'm just one little leg in the journey. It takes so many different people doing so many different things. The village that's saving these babies, that's the heroes, the whole village. I'm just one little spoke in the wheel.
What does the love of your dogs mean to you?
They are my happy place. They're my family. They're a part of us. I don't understand how anybody could not want that.
Is this happening everywhere in the country? In my own backyard? Who are the people at the forefront of making changes and improving the canine condition for all of these homeless dogs? I am determined to find out. Embark on this journey with me, and let's save humans' best friend together.
When I don't know where to go, and I don't know where to turn to, I know at least that I got you. And when I'm feeling sad and lonely, and I need someone to hold me, I know at least that I got